I'm back with another video. This is for letter H of the YouTube Pagans ABC challenge, and I am doing honey. Now normally I would have like an example to show you here on screen, but I'm actually like down to the very last drops of honey that I have, so I need to buy more, but I need to get this video up. So hey, check out this great page from this book that I have, and I think this was the first introduction I had to the natural uses for honey, and so yeah, let's just dive right in. I haven't done my grimoire herbal grimoire page on honey yet either. I'll share that on Instagram when it's done. So first, culinary uses. That's what most people know about honey. It's a sweetener. It's created by honeybees. They go around, they collect nectar from flowers, and also incidentally the pollen from flowers, and bring all of that back to their hive. And when the creation of honey, all of that goes into it. So each honey, it's important to note that honey varies from place to place in flavoring. That's more a slight differences. Most people probably won't notice unless they're like honey connoisseurs or something like that, or it's a really strong, potent flavor. But otherwise, most people can't tell too much of the difference taste-wise with the different wildflowers in honeys. But the coloring, it changes the color, and the properties of the honey, or it doesn't change it. Each honey has different additional properties depending on what flowers and plants the bees have come into contact with, and the hive has come into contact with. So they each have their different properties in addition to the natural properties that honey has. But yeah, culinary wise, honey is a sweetener. It's probably the oldest, most well-known sweetener around the world, and it makes a great addition to pretty much any recipe, whether it's just the regular ingredient mixed in or something drizzled on top. I'm sure you've had plenty of desserts with honey in them, but it can be used to make glazes and sauces, and just whatever you can think of. It's probably been tried, so Google it. Spoonful of raw local honey helps not only soothe your throat, it's very good for raw feeling throat and respiratory, which I'll get into in a second, but it helps prevent and reduce the symptoms of allergies. Now, allergies are usually, or at least some allergies, outdoor pollen allergies are because of the local plant life, and so eating raw local honey gets your body used to those allergens and that pollen, and so it can, reduce the symptoms you get for allergies. And if you start taking it about a month before you usually see symptoms, if you have seasonal outdoor allergies like that, you can increase the potential of not getting any allergies that season. So there's that. There's also, honey is often used in teas to help soothe the throat and warm it up. Lots of musicians use honey and tea to, relax their throat muscles and prepare them for their performances. And to repair after performances. Aromatic honeys are honeys where you add a couple of drops of essential oils to, and again, they're great for flavoring, particularly your coffee or teas. And it makes actually an perfect instant tea for, particularly for traveling. If you don't have tea bags, tea leaves, or even herbal plants that you can put in, or if it's just something you need to save space, if you put a couple of drops of essential oils, by a couple I mean one or two, into some honey, like maybe 4 to 8 ounces max of honey, and you just take a teaspoonful and put it in hot water, instant flavor tea. So give that a try. So that's it for culinary uses. On to therapeutic and medical uses. So honey it helps restore energy and it dissolves mucus. One second. Okay, it dissolves mucus. Like I said, it disinfects. It even heals minor wounds, and it helps, like I mentioned earlier, with the respiratory system. And so the simple sugars in honey act like a natural pick-me-up. Honestly, most sugar will raise your energy. It's a energetic thing when added into your system, and since honey is made from simple sugars, it dissolves easily into the bloodstream through your digestive system, unlike a lot of man-made sugars or processed sugars, I should say. Honey enters your system easier because your body doesn't have to break it down and process it as much. So it's a natural pick-me-up. If you think about kids and sugar highs, a lot of parents are like, don't give their kids anything sweet after a certain time of night, otherwise they won't go to sleep. And it happens to adults as well. So when you think about that, it correlates to sugars give you energy usually, and the same with honey. And this is a natural high from simple sugars. It won't last super long, and it's not in small amounts. We're not talking about, just eating a jar of honey one day. That's too much, and you will probably get sick. But it is a pick-me-up. If maybe, you're feeling a little down that day, maybe a teaspoon of honey will give you the pick-me-up you need to make it over that 2 p.m. work slump. Now then, let's see what else we got. Honey is also has a soothing effect on the body. Now this may sound contradictory, but the natural elements of honey. It helps soothe muscles and strain, but also mental strain, and it helps with those who have insomnia. Again, this is in small doses. It's honey is antimicrobial and antibacterial, and then you add in the fact that it imitates like a moist wound conditions, and it has high viscosity. So essentially, honey, when used on small wounds, we're not talking about like slather honey over a gunshot wound or anything like that. I know that's a pretty extreme example, but it's what came to mind. Like go to a doctor, use a proper bandage. But this was used in the past for something like that. Rashes, burns in particular, those types of wounds, or like a paper cut, something like that, something small and localized. It's great for honey. Otherwise, you'll be bathing in honey. Um, Honey acts like a bandage, basically. It's protecting with its high viscosity. Nothing can get through it to your wound, so it's protecting it from outside um, germs and things. And then it's cleansing the wound underneath it with this antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. It's killing whatever germs got trapped inside when you received the injury, and it promotes cell growth as well. So it will help you heal a little bit quicker as well. So that's some of the ways you can use honey, or some of the reasons why you can use honey for small wounds. Now, that also translates into skincare. So the same properties, it helps cleanse the bacteria from your face. So that's reducing acne and reducing the look of scars, which is great. Also with discoloration, and honey has a lot of vitamins and nutrients as well that are great for the skin. So it tones, it protects, repairs your skin cells, and what more do you want? This is why I use honey in a lot of the facial scrubs that I offer. It's also a natural moisturizer as well. So it's great to put into your baths. Next, let's see. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. So honey, like I mentioned earlier, always has some additional properties of the plants that the bees collected pollen and nectar from, but also any plant life nearby, because we all know, well, those of us with allergies, like that stuff floats in the air, and so if the honey is collected from a hive bees which were near eucalyptus trees, then there will be some eucalyptus properties in that honey. So when you're going to the store, do check, there's all these different types of honeys, because those were the plants that those are the plant particles you can find in that honey, and each one takes on an additional set of properties based on those plant particles. Now on to the magical spiritual uses. Honey is associated with the sun thanks to its color, and most people, you see honey and like this picture, it's like this goldenish color, though the hue and saturation can vary depending on, again, what other plant particles are in the honey. It's also associated with the planet Venus and the goddess Venus, so you can use it as offerings to Venus. Honey brings sweetness into relationships and situations. So if you're looking for that, maybe you've had an argument, or when we think of sweetness, we think of good, positive things that we're attracting happiness and positivity and just goodness when we think of something sweet most of the time. So if you want to add those elements to a relationship or to a situation, and magically you can create something that includes honey in it, whether it's your spell work or whatever. Honey jars are popular in nowadays, actually, but that particular practice comes from various African diasporic traditions, and what you do is you place coins or a piece of paper with someone's name on it, or whatever else you want to attract sweetness to, and then you pour honey into the jar. There are other types of sweetness jars, so like sugar, molasses, syrup, whatever you want, but we're talking about honey today, so honey jars. So that's another, or a specific type of working you can do with regards to honey. Honey is also very sticky, so it's something, if you want to connect with someone or something, it's good as a representational glue for that type of working or spell. Honey is also associated with the god Apollo and the Threa, the also called the bee goddesses. They were nymphs that helped nurture Apollo, like the bees nurture honey and the honeycomb and the hive. So they're called the bee goddesses. So you can use that as offerings to them. And obviously, you got Apollo's the god of the sun. So again, as an offering, honey, honeycomb. Honey is associated with power, as is the sun. You could use it as an offering to the fae as well. Fairies are known to appreciate an offering of natural raw honey. And let's see. Also consider again the type of honey, what the wildlife, plant life, plant particles are in that honey. It takes on those additional properties. So honey adds an extra boost of power to any spell work, really. And so with all that in mind, things like fertility, empowerment, prosperity, love, and romance, rituals or spell work, great to include honey in any of those. And it makes a great addition to your ritual bath or any kitchen magic. So, wrapping that back around to the culinary uses there. So that's all I have to say about honey. If you have anything in addition to add, please let me know. If you have any questions about anything I said, again, leave a comment. And let me know if you learned anything new from this video. Thank you all for watching. If you would like a facial scrub or body scrub or ritual bath soak with honey in it, I'll leave a link to my Etsy shop down below. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're looking forward to more. I'll be participating in One Book July, but also keeping up with these series. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!